Greetings, family and friends on this day the Lord has made. Welcome to a special edition of Community Voices on this day. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. We welcome you to this special edition of Community Voices. And I'm especially glad because I have via phone Minister Gerald Scott, the grandson of the late, great Doctors Eugene and Georgia Turner. Doctors Eugene and Georgia Turner served First Baptist Lumberton for 57 years. And coming up on Sunday, August the 3rd, is our church's 103rd church anniversary and homecoming worship service. The guest speaker will be Minister Gerald Scott, Dr. Turner's grandson and Mrs. Turner's grandson. Greetings, Minister Scott, and thank you for joining us today.
Oh, Doc, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be on. Glad to have this conversation with you and your listeners, man. Glad to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. We are grateful for our listeners and our viewers supporting Community Voices, and we just know that all of us are excited about the upcoming occasion when you shall be joining us. And thank you for coming today to share from a family member's perspective about your grandparents' legacy. First, we are looking forward to, of course, you being here with us Sunday, August the 3rd, 10 a.m. I want to say that again for our listeners out there and maybe some of our viewers who may want to join us. That's the first Sunday in August. Come and be with us at First Baptist Lumberton, our 103rd church anniversary. Now, we'll begin our homecoming and anniversary celebration on Thursday, July the 31st, with Joy Night at the church. Friday, August the 1st, from 6 to 9, is our 4th annual homecoming gala at W.H. Knuckles. Saturday is our homecoming, that's August the 2nd, cookout, our homecoming cookout, also at the church. But then, and if I was in church, I'd say, look at your neighbor and say, but then, Sunday, August the 3rd, is the 103rd church anniversary and homecoming worship service. Again, and again, the guest speaker will be Minister Gerald Scott, coming all the way from Suitland, Maryland, to be with us. We're looking forward to you being with us, Doc, and ministering to us. We're looking forward to it.
I'm excited, man. I done packed up my wife and my kids and my mama and my auntie. I'm going to bring as many people as I can with me.
Awesome.
You know, we're going to all be there. My wife has never been to Lumberton, so this is going to be a new experience for her, but I told her that the people are as good as gold.
Well, thank you. You're mighty kind, and we're going to extend the red carpet. We welcome you. And, of course, we're welcoming your mom and her sister Rosalind, your aunt. Of course, we're welcoming them back home, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, before we get any further, I want to invite you to see if you have any opening remarks about standing where your grandfather stood for 57 years and in the place your grandmother served for 53 years, because Doc was here 4 years before she joined him here as his beautiful bride.
Absolutely. It's still an honor. It's still surreal. It's still something that's hard to believe, but I'm just grateful that I can get in that place. I think the biggest thing for me is to recognize that I can stand in his place without trying to stand in his shoes.
Oh, powerful.
And so I enjoy the idea that this is a family moment, that is something that he always knew, that he would talk to me about as a young man, that he knew before I knew. But it's going to be a great time, and I'm just excited to share this moment. My grandmother would, if you, I don't know if you recall, Dr. Hayward T. Gray said that she was his biggest supporter of his preaching. And I think that my grandmother's touch on my preaching gift has been probably in my memory the most impactful. So them both together, the memory of this moment is just going to be great for everybody.
Awesome, awesome. You know, and we're going to talk about a little more about that. But before we do, tell us a little bit about you, Minister Gerald. Who is Minister Gerald Scott? Who are you, sir?
Absolutely. Well, right now, what I do, I'm blessed to be a married man. I'm blessed to be a father of two wonderful children, Chloe Scott, who's a student at Spelman, and Gerald Scott the third, who is
Wow.
running around at our ankles. And I am right now the executive director of ministries at the Galilee Baptist Church under Pastor Lloyd T. McGriff,
Well, Doc, they
who is
have
a
you.
South Carolina native.
They have you. I mean, you stretched all the way from Spelman to a child running around your ankles.
I
That's
don't know what to do. I just go to the kitchen, and wherever they land, that's where they meet me. And I enjoy it. Right now, I'm a student at Howard University Divinity School. I should be finishing the next couple of semesters, and that's
awesome.
a really important thing for me. I know my granddad sat on the board for many years at Shaw Divinity,
Yes,
so I
yes,
hope that anybody from Shaw would just charge it to the fact that it was closer to my house to go to Howard than it was to go to Shaw. But
yes.
I understand and know that that program is amazing. I have a lot of friends there. But right now, for me, ministry and school and family are some of the key important things to me. I'm glad to serve in this capacity, and I'm just moving forward along the way. I love it. I love every step about what God has for me at this moment.
And what's the name of the church again?
It's Galilee Baptist Church, and the pastor's name is Lloyd T. McGriff, and he is actually from South Carolina. I sure wish I knew exactly where, but he has been a a fan. He grew up knowing about Dr. Turner. He grew up hearing about him on the radio, which is something that we didn't know until after I had already started serving at the church, and he, already was familiar with the name. So he's very supportive of everything I do and what he allows me to do at the church and how I serve him in ministry. We are in Suitland, Maryland. We moved from Southeast Washington, D.C., and we're planning to move again to a new edifice in Westphalia, Maryland. We're building a new church, which should be up in about 2 years. So that's a big, exciting thing for us. So yeah, that's Galilee Baptist Church. I love that place.
Awesome, awesome. I saw where you posted. I follow you on social media. I saw where you posted the fact that you thought your granddad would be very proud of you of finishing your undergrad degree, and you said you had made a promise that you weren't going to come back to the graveside until you had finished, and you showed up there to 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 close out that chapter.
I
Congratulations,
showed up
sir.
that. Thank you very much. I showed up that exact week. I was doing ministry in Charlotte. I was executive pastor at a church called Have Life Church in Charlotte, North Carolina, right in the Sugar Creek area. And every time I thought about it, I would just get in the car and drive an hour up to Goldston,
Oh
where they
wow.
are buried, and just go and put flowers on the grave and visit my family that's there. When I moved back to D.C. to finish school, I made a vow that I would not go back without my degree in my hand.
Awesome,
And
awesome.
so after the graduation, which was on a Tuesday, I got in the car on Wednesday morning
My my.
and drove down 85 to Golston to have that moment. So yes,
Oh
sir, I
wow,
believe he's very
wow.
proud. I'm a graduate of the University of Maryland, College Park. I was able to do a double major in African American Studies and History,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I was just very proud about that. So yeah, we shared that moment. He was also a history major at
Oh
Shaw,
yes, oh yes.
and
Anyone
so
that
we shared that together.
anyone that knew your granddad knew that he was a history major. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely,
In
absolutely.
his sermon, in his one-on-one sermons to you, you knew that he loved history. He loved history. Now, Dr. and Mrs. Turner have two daughters, Andrea and Rosalind. Now, Andrea's your mom, right?
There's my mom. Yes,
And you have a brother, Eugene.
my brother Eugene, who he I think now he is headed back, but I know he was in Boston at Harvard, which is his alma mater, doing some teaching. So I think he was an adjunct professor there. I've learned not to keep up. He flies so much and be in so many cities. I would say he's in Boston and he might be in New York.
I hear
So
you.
I don't really know. And my mother is here. She's so excited about having a chance to come down. So we just gonna make sure we bring as many people as we can.
And did you say your aunt Rosalind may also come?
Rosna's coming. Her two daughters are coming. Her son, Greg, who I'm sure everybody at First Baptist remembers him from beating on the drums, is now on a world tour as the drummer for Will Smith.
Awesome.
So I talked to him last night, and he was in Frankfurt, Germany. And I said, "Well, you ain't gonna make it to Lumberton. You ain't gonna be able to be there." So he's still on tour, and I believe his tour goes out to the end of the year. And they'll both be in attendance. I know if my grandma was alive, she would try to sneak a song out of them too.
I bet. And
Yeah. So
you as well. I hear you're an
yeah,
accomplished.
absolutely.
uh,
I've tried to meet the level of where they are.
wow.
I served a long time as a musician, as an organist, and I was blessed to be able to do some artistry and songwriting through the years. And what's very interesting about that is, as much as I was dedicated and committed to music, it never moved Dr. Turner because he knew about preaching.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah, so he would, we would talk. Me and Greg, I would be playing the organ, and he'd be playing the drums, and we would talk to him about it as much as he could. And he would say, "Well, what are you reading? Because I want to know about that." so I guess I see now that he was finally right.
Awesome. Awesome. Um, so you all were raised in the DMV
Yeah,
area.
yeah, we're all born and raised in DMV. We grew up at the New Samaritan Baptist Church. Well, Eugene is older than us, so he actually grew up at Springfield Baptist Church before he went to college at UNC. And we all still serve in music. Rosalind's oldest daughter, Leah, is the minister of music for a church called Zion Church, which is in Greenbelt, Maryland. Her second daughter, Rachel, is traveling in music with Ricky Dillard. She's a part of his choir, and she
Wow.
is on the road very often. Greg, of course, is on the road. My brother is in politics and education,
And
and I'm
journalists.
in the church. And as a journalist, yeah, and I'm in
Yeah.
church,
Yeah.
and so we all made it work out.
Okay. Let's just talk about that a minute.
Yes, sir.
That music ministry in the family and how it just everybody. I guess everybody but Eugene is playing or singing something, right?
Absolutely. We are definitely my grandmother's grandchildren, and she kept the acrosonic piano in her house, which is now actually in Rosalind's house. And she would play, and we would sing, and we would learn different music. I always tell people the first hymn I learned how to play was "Yield Not to Temptation" in the key of F in Lumberton from my grandmother, and
Now,
she wanted me
did
to
your
play
mom
the.
play
Mhm.
Andre? I don't
She
remember her
did.
playing.
She did, but not as much. She wanted to lead the song. She didn't want to back
Oh,
nobody up.
okay.
She didn't want to be no background player. So
Oh,
so
okay.
my aunt Rock did most of the playing,
Yes.
and I actually, when I first started to do music full time, I served as the organist for my aunt Rosalind. She was the minister of music at a church called Matthews Memorial Baptist Church, and I was her musician. She directed a 300 voice choir every week, and I was on the organ. So I learned very fast that my aunt is not the same woman as my boss.
Okay.
Yeah, she
Okay.
kept us tight. She wouldn't let nothing go wrong. And I would say, "I thought you was my loving, sweet auntie. You get in here and
Okay.
yell at us."
Now there was a time when she played in Rocket Mount, wasn't there, for a church up there or something?
Yes, she was at Rocky Mount with Reverend Thomas L. Walker,
Oh
who
yeah,
is still
Thomas said
pastor now at
one a day at a time
one
Walker.
one day at a time. As a matter of fact, I have somewhere around here the record cover for One Day at a Time, and Rosalind is on the cover on the side as the choir director and
I
musician for
remember.
that record.
I
Yeah, so
remember.
if I move a few things, I can find it. But she is she was serving there, and then she moved to D.C.
Now that was
and
Ebenezer. That was Ebenezer
that
Baptist
was
Church.
Ebenezer.
Yeah, yeah,
That was Ebenezer Baptist in Rocky Mount.
yeah. I've
And
preached. I preached there, and he has
okay,
preached for me
hmm
down in my church at Ebenezer, here in Robertson County. But I recall that that was a national hit. That one day at a time, and
absolutely.
yes, I remember Rosalind's role there. Yes, yes.
Yes,
Um,
those were those records we still have, and so she was serving there, but she did most of her music ministry in Washington D.C. area. As you know, she's a registered nurse, and she is
yes.
still working. Actually, I think she's working toward retirement, but she's still serving in the health community and serving at I'm not sure which hospital she's working at, but she's still working.
Okay. When did you um, respond to the calling on your life to preach? Dr. Turner evidently discerned it, and when did you uh, just had to yield to it?
I would say I discerned it around 17 or 18, and I kind of kept it a secret. I didn't, want to talk much about it because I felt like as long as I'm doing music, I'm in church, and whenever that happens, it'll happen. And I actually responded to it when I was about 21, and the first call, of course, was to my granddad, and we talked on the phone about it for
Oh, that's awesome. Dr. Turner was
yeah for about
alive when you
seven
got
minutes.
when you announced your calling.
Yes, yes. I was 21, and I called him. He was in Golston at the time, already retired,
All right.
and we talked about it for. We didn't talk much about it at all until his last sermon he preached at Roberts Chapel, which was his home church in Chatham County, and he asked me to come in and prepare the sermon with him, which I was shaking in my boots to do. And in that process of talking about the scripture, I got almost a full semester of school
Mm,
in an
mm,
hour long process, and that
yes.
was his last sermon. He actually passed just a couple of months later, so we did not talk as much about it as much as he was just glad to know that I had fulfilled that part.
Awesome. Awesome. And I know you are so happy and will be
Yes, sir.
forever so happy that you got to share that with him. I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
My goodness. And let's talk a little bit more about your grandparents. Um, your early remembrances. Tell us about what you can remember as a child coming to visit in Lumberton, if you would.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure everyone remembers when we were very small, we would come to Lumberton every summer. As soon as school let out, my mama would ship us down to Lumberton to get rid of us, and we would come to Lumberton, and I remember uh, there are young people at First Baptist Lumberton that we connected with. I remember the McCahan sisters. I remember the Mosbys, Brandon Mosby, who's still a good friend of mine today.
Sure.
We all grew up together. And I remember even, at Pembroke State, they would have basketball camp, and, I would go there. So I spent a lot of time there. But my most fond memories of my granddad, and I guess this me and Greg could say this the same since we were both the youngest, we just wanted to go with him wherever he had to go. If it was a meeting, if he was going out to the farm, if it was to meet at the church, if he had to do a service, a funeral, afternoon service, we just wanted to go with him. His stature, as you know, he was about 6'6". So
Yes.
we never, we always just kind of stayed as low as we could. But I think that was our biggest thing, and that never went away for us. Even as we got older, we just wanted to be around him. One thing that I'm sure that people know, but if you think about the legacy of a man like Dr. Turner, he was so funny. He was so hilarious. I mean, all my life I remember him being um, extremely funny and able to connect with us even as kids till we developed into being young men, which is so different for so many people because they saw him in such a serious light.
Sure.
And my grandmother, I'll say this, and I'm sure that some people won't believe this. I've never ever heard my grandmother raise her voice. Now she definitely beat us if we got out of line. But I've never heard her raise her voice. Everything was always calm. She kept order. She kept a tight leash, and we just loved and enjoyed her so much. You know, we had a great time growing up with our grandparents. You know, when they would come up to D.C. and spend time, we just wanted to please them. We just wanted them to show them that we had been learning and growing. So those are my fondest memories, that we just had such a strong family. I will say this: my granddad taught us to drive at
Really?
a very young age. I would say maybe at about 10 or 11 years old. And I didn't realize how hard that was until I had to teach my daughter to drive. And I said, I sure wish Dr. Turner was alive to help me with this, because you can't drive, you know. But it was just, we pop up with those memories every now and again because they still are important to our lives.
Now, I know that a lot of grandparents are more, um, well, give more room and more rope to their grandchildren than they did to their children. Now, I wonder if your
Absolutely.
aunt and your mom would say that you all may have gotten by with some things with their parents that they didn't get by with. What do you think they'd say?
They have expressed in great detail to my grandfather, you let them boys do whatever they want. I can remember that.
That's
You let
typical.
them boys do whatever they want. There was once in when he was in Chatham County, and I had just bought a new car, and I was so excited about my new car, and I wanted to drive down to Thanksgiving as opposed to riding with everybody else. Of course, it took me a long time, and I stopped here, stopped there, and I'll never forget my aunt said, "You just let him drive that car all over the place. You didn't. You should have told him to get in the car with us." And Dr. Turner told her, he said, "Well, he got a job. He can have a car." And that was the end of that conversation. We did get away with a lot. They definitely kept the leash on us, but there was, as far as my grandparents, we could pretty much do whatever we wanted.
Well, that's it's great to hear that Dr. and Mrs. Turner were typical grandparents,
Yeah,
because I've
absolutely.
heard that said over and over by so many children, um, that the grands they didn't even recognize their own parents by the
Yeah.
treatment that they were extending to their grandchildren.
Now, what's interesting about that is, and I want to say this because I know she's watching. I am experiencing that with my mother, Andrea Turner,
Uh oh. Uh oh.
who doesn't believe that her grandchildren can do any wrong,
Oh.
and she gives them whatever they want and however much money they want. So I hope
She
that
didn't
she's
treat
fit.
you and she didn't treat you and Eugene the same way.
Oh, she'd pop me in Eugene in the grocery store if she had to. She didn't give us no news. I told, and my daughter, if she calls my mother, it's over. Whatever she wants, and I say, Mom, you really done made her rotten, but she don't listen to me. So you know, I'm
Yes,
glad she
indeed.
has her.
Yes, and I know your mom is glad that she has them, just like the Turners
Absolutely,
were glad they had you all. And I know they
absolutely.
enjoyed y'all's summer visits and their visits to D.C. Now, as influencers, both were committed to serving their present age. In I can actually hear Dr. Turner lining out. You know how he liked to line out a song, and
Oh yeah.
and Mrs. Turner playing a charge to keep I have
My
to
God be
serve the
glorified.
present age,
Absolutely.
my calling to
Hmm.
fulfill. And Doc would say, "Oh,
Yeah.
may it all my powers engage to do
Hmm.
my master's will." Now, I mean, hymns. I mean, Doc had a memory on him that I still admire to this day. Now,
Yes.
I said all that to say, did their commitment to service and to um, serving their present age, you think, influence and rub off on you, your brother, and your first cousins?
Absolutely. There is no ministry without justice, and in dealing with how God wants his people to be treated. He wants his people to be treated just and fairly. Fairly, he's a just God. So in our understanding of how to do church and how to do social civic engagement, there's no difference. It's always been connected. So everything that we have done in terms of our focus being helping people along the way, understanding the economic and systemic injustices that have happened
Wow.
to people in our neighborhood. Our
Yes.
our work is probably never going to be as grand as his was, but in small grassroots way in terms of voting, enacting powerful people who are downtrodden, poverty engagement. My African American Studies degree set me off on a path to understand exactly how I want to engage in the sociology of how people are mistreated in this country, especially when it comes to civil rights, black rights. We are very connected, very engaged. As you know, my brother, being a politics reporter, has even put his career on the line
Yes.
to make
Yes.
sure that he has put himself in a position where people understand where he stands, what is done right, and he's even been online and called out this president and the work that has been done to work against us. So I'm very proud about our family and how that has worked.
Well, that's in your DNA then. It is.
Yes, sir.
Your mom, she was on the front line back with, I know you probably remember Congressman Charlie Rose and
Congressman Charlie Rose.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes. And your granddad was his go-to man in Robertson County,
Yep.
and of course your mom served as a staff person for years,
Yep.
and so I was just couldn't help but think that that kind of awareness to service and to ministering and to helping had to had to be an influence in y'all's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. My biggest I like to when I do engage, I like to do it in pieces so that I won't be overburdened. I think the focus right now, and I use our ministry of Galilee for this, is public school education and the disadvantages that come with PG County is 98% black, and there are disadvantages right outside of the nation's capital that face public school students. And so, what we try to do is, as a ministry, is bring awareness to ways in which people can make up for that gap that government structures have kind of put in position to keep black and brown students outside of the the space to receive what they need to receive. So for us, that's a key goal, and that's what my civic engagement is about right now, and it has been for about 2 years. The education space.
You told us where you have come from and some of the things that you've done. How about futuristically? What do you where do you see the Lord calling you and the work in the ministry?
Absolutely. I wanted to hold off any potential processes for candidating for full time pastoring until I graduate. And I think that I'm trying to stick with that. I don't know if that will be the case. There are some open doors and that I'm praying about, but that is my goal, to be able to graduate first and then embark onto full time pastoring, wherever that may be. For now, I think that my ability to I get a lot of opportunities to preach in DC, outside and around DC, and it pushes me forward. And so where that grows and pushes me is a major goal for me right now. But yeah, that's where I want to go. Full time ministry,
Full time pastoral ministry.
full time pastoral ministry. Absolutely.
Oh, Dr. Turner is shouting right now. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
and Mrs. Turner, indeed, and Mom is aboard and etc. Is she?
She is. She is. Everybody knows. Everybody's aboard, and everybody's supporting me in this way this goes. So right now, as I'm finishing up Howard Divinity, also a lot of love and support to Howard Divinity. I our schools, our semester starts in just a couple of weeks. So I'll be back in the classroom. But it is there are so many resources that are supporting me and pushing me in that direction.
Your your music ministry, um, have you incorporated that into preaching, and do you see it being a part of your pastoral uh, role as well?
Well, I always loved singing in that moment. I always love to incorporate what I've learned in terms of production and music and playing as an organist and a music director and a record producer. I think right now I would say I probably have put it on the back burner for now, but who knows what goes on in the future. As a matter of fact, I just I, I can't believe I forgot about this. I just pulled something together where I need to sort of work on somebody's record with something that we're doing for the community coming up very soon. So while I do still play and do still sing and do still write music, I don't do it as much as I used to, only because of where my focus is in terms of school and family. But I would never say never. If there's an opportunity for me to focus on pushing music in that regard, I
Hmm.
definitely will.
Well, you know, in the Baptist tradition, there are preachers like the current pastor of First Baptist who can sing. Uh,
Oh
before
yeah.
before preaching, you know, I'm not one of those, you know, but before before preaching, they start off with a song and get folk all ready, you know, and
Yeah.
then preach. And at the end, if there is if there's still some folks standing, uh, they go ahead and slay them with another song, you know,
One more time,
one
yeah.
more time.
And shout out to Pastor Matthews. I know he know how to do it best.
Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, that the Lord didn't give me to do that, so I have to just deal with the word as best I can, you know,
Yes, sir.
and throw a little bit of gravy on there at the end, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But we certainly appreciate you joining us for this special edition of this broadcast to let the folk in the area know that you're coming and that we're going to be celebrating um, the 103rd anniversary there at First Baptist. We're going to, of course, there'll be celebration of your father and your grandfather and grandmother, as well as the entire Turner family being appreciated, and we're just looking forward to it, and we're excited about it. You know, I'm a member there. Dr. Turner, uh, 38 years ago, this past July, Dr. Turner officiated my wife and my wedding, and my membership is there, and he was instrumental in so many things that happened in my life that I still give him the God and him the glory for. Um, and I just want to invite you to, in your own way, to uh, offer greetings, of course, to those who are going to be coming, and also to any words of encouragement that you might have.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much again for having me, and thank you so much for the warm hospitality that's been extended to my family. It is very much appreciated. It's important for me to maintain our roots and our connection with the people that have known us and loved us even before we knew how to love back. And that's one of the reasons why I will always make room and make space for the Lumberton family and community. And I hope to see every one of you. I really mean what I'm about to say. I hope to shake all of your hands and take as many pictures as possible and hug your neck as much as I can, because
Amen.
I recognize how much that connection has meant to our family. What I would like to say by means of pushing everybody forward is it's important for me to know that where you are right now is not where you can always be. You can have the potential to move forward no matter how the situation looks. That there's always a better place and a better look. That if you have
Amen.
God on your side, there's a forward push for you. And I want more people to believe that, because
Mm,
what you believe, you
mm.
can realize. So anybody that we meet and that we connect with, we always let them know that what you draw into your heart is what can manifest in your life by the power of God. So that's the biggest thing for me, for the listeners that are listening right now and everybody who's viewing. Hello to all of you. That's my biggest hope for everybody, is that they realize that nothing is through with God on your side. Everything can go forward.
Amen. God bless, and thank you for that word. That's a word right there. And
Thank you so much, Pastor.
yes, indeed. And we look forward to seeing you. And safe travels, and God bless.
Yes,
And,
sir. Take care.
and thank you for joining this edition of Community Voices. I'm John Campbell. Until we meet again, God bless.